Aw, I'm joined today by my little kitten, Elowen, and she's going to help us out today. Yes, hello, magical one. We have such a special week this week, and I'm excited to help you understand how to leverage the energy that's happening in the cosmos to support you better in what you're creating. So whether that's a goal that you're working on or a dream that you're trying to bring to life, this video is all about how to use the energy of this big full moon in Scorpio that's happening on May 1st, along with all of the gorgeous energy with Beltane, which is one of the Celtic fire festivals, and it's all happening together. So it's a big, big moment. We've had so many big, cool moments this year, and we're just continuing with that theme. So let's begin. Okay, so first let's talk about Beltane. Beltane is one of the festivals of the Wheel of the Year, if you're very familiar with that. If you're not, you might know this day also called May Day. May Day, which always falls on May 1st, it's all about fertility and abundance and the first signs of flowering starting to happen. So it's a really exciting moment. The winter is finally over and we're seeing hopes that we're going to have a good harvest later in the year. If we were back in like farming times, think of it as just bouquets of flowers, right? Like this is the feeling of this moment, is very abundant and lush, and that's going to even come more into play with Litha that happens with the summer solstice here in about 6 weeks in mid-June. So with May Day or Beltane, one of the things that's going to be energetically up for us is to be looking at all of the bright possibilities, this bright future, things that we're really excited about creating or experiencing. It's a moment where things can feel really lush and alive, and we might have a lot of optimism or confidence or excitement, especially a lot of confidence after our big Aries new moon that just happened. We had like 7 heavenly bodies all hanging out in Aries, helping to just amp up the confidence and the courage that we might be feeling. And just to pause right there really quick, please know that anything I share with astrology or anything symbolic, it's coming from a deep belief that I have that the dreams and desires that are within our hearts matter. That the dreams and desires in your heart matter. My world has dramatically shifted ever since I started to really believe and take to heart that the universe is on my side. That especially the universe is on my side in these gorgeous, lovely things that I have within my heart that I want to create. And seeing these signs in the stars and in the planets and what's happening there has only helped confirm that more. And I just think it's so valuable to tap into what's happening in this season and this moment so we can really lean in and appreciate the moment and be present with it and work with that energy so much more successfully than if we just try to, just push through and hustle and make it happen. It's not as effective. So with that in mind, it's really, really fascinating that we have this super bright, lovely, flowery, abundant energy on Beltane. And at the same moment, we have a full moon in Scorpio. It's actually called a full flower moon, which is because of the timing of when it's happening as well, totally in line with that Beltane May Day kind of a moment as well. But the Scorpio aspect of this big full moon is really fascinating to look at how it's happening at the same time as this big bright energy. Full moons are really good moments where it's almost like this big bright spotlight is being shown on a particular area of our life. And depending on where the moon falls in your chart, it could mean a little bit different things, but the general meaning is what I'll share here. We've got our witchy little cat right here. We can keep talking about all these witchy fabulous things together while she is just loving this conversation because she's getting lots of attention. So the full moon being in Scorpio is going to mean that some of those Scorpio aspects are really going to be under the spotlight for us, something to focus on and to think about. And really, with all that I've been studying and feeling into with this moon, it feels like such an important moment for us to not just look at the big shiny vision of whatever we're trying to create and make, and to kind of stay in that flowery fantasy of it, but to really look at how this Scorpio moon might be shining a light on some of the things that might be poisoning the well of water and life force and creativity and energy that we're trying to bring into this thing that we're creating and working on. These are things that are making it harder for us to pursue our dream or to bring our heart's desire to life. Now, one of the things I love about Scorpio, which might be partly because I have a Scorpio moon in my chart, and so I really resonate with a lot of Scorpio things, is that it has a ton of badass energy with it. And this is the kind of badass energy that really gives us the courage to face things that are in the dark, to face the things that are keeping us stuck, to face some of those poison limiting beliefs and patterns and stories in our head that are keeping us playing really small and that keep sabotaging our best efforts. And the reason why Scorpio does this is because it is to break us free. It's kind of like the energy of the Hindu goddess Kali Ma, whose energy is like nothing but love is acceptable. And she will just cut down anything that isn't love. And Scorpio really brings that type of energy very strong too, where it's like, hey, live in alignment with your dream and your vision, or else you're gonna really feel this pain even more tightly, even more clearly. And so if you're feeling some optimism and excitement and enthusiasm this week about your dream, but you're also having some maybe deep, dark, heavy stuff coming up in you, maybe some big emotion, maybe some old stuff from your past that's haunting you a little bit this week, just see it as the gift it is and recognize it's perfect. And this is the whole universe showing up in support of you to help you face that and let it go, clean up that energy so that it isn't poisoning the well anymore and it's not sabotaging your dreams and your goals and what you're trying to create. That's something I love about Scorpio energy, is that it can kind of like back us into a corner. I'm just picturing that little sharp stinger, right? Where it's like backing us into a corner and saying, face it. Like really look at this thing so that you aren't being held back by it anymore. This is the year of the fire horse. There's so much energy right now about moving forward and creating new things and really living in alignment with who you really are and not holding back anymore. And this energy of Scorpio making us look at some of these things that maybe we don't want to look at or we've maybe been running from is so healthy and is going to help set up the rest of the year for success. So it's definitely the energy of facing your fears and being able to walk away stronger and more free because you've done so. This is also a moment where Scorpio energy really brings us more into the darkness, and it's a good invitation to not get distracted by all of the flowering trees and the flowering, greenery of life coming up and what's happening above the surface in our lives. Like there could be lots of fun things happening in life right now and good things too, right? But this is an opportunity to also remember to check your roots and make sure that you're digging your roots even deeper right now to be even more anchored into what you know is true and what you believe and what you love and what really matters to you, what your values are. So I painted this Scorpio full moon as a way to communicate this energy that I'm seeing, and also as a way to call in some other energetic supports that can really help us at this moment. So every part of this piece is symbolic. So if we look at the symbolism first of the scorpion, we've been talking a little bit about that. Scorpions bring a lot of energy of self-protection and even of like just knowing how a scorpion does not attack unless it is provoked. And so there's a lot of energy with Scorpio and scorpions of boundaries. So looking at our boundaries right now, and are they supporting us to create what we want? Or do we need to uproot some of these things that are making it harder for us to do that? This energy can also be supportive to help us look at how much we're giving away. Are we giving away too much of ourselves and we're not retaining enough to nourish ourselves and make sure our own cup is full and as best as we can, right? And it could be that we need to look a little bit more closely at protecting our creative energy. There's also just so much energy about being able to look at our shadows and look in those dark corners of our life and to really face those skeletons in the closet. Now, when we look at the symbolism of the black butterfly, butterflies are always symbols of metamorphosis, meaning transformation and rising. Even like when you think about the transformation of really coming from one thing, like a caterpillar, and becoming something absolutely different by a process of breaking down to mush until you are then reborn as this butterfly. It's such a powerful symbol for us spiritually and psychologically. And the black butterfly in particular really symbolizes profound transformation and rebirth. It can also mean the end of a personal darkness season or cycle. That could be really comforting. There's a lot of rebirth and resurrection energy with a black butterfly as well. And there's so much energy of mystery and this intriguing transformation that invites us to really look into those mysteries of the unknown and unlock the hidden depths of our own potential. And it is ironic that a lot of times those bits of potential are hidden in the dark with us. They're parts of us that we felt were too big or too small or too weird. I also have pictured in the painting patchouli flowers. And patchouli is such a powerful essential oil to use to get deeper into the body. And so this is a good reminder that lots of times when we're feeling really inspired and excited about what we want to create, our energy might be all the way up here in the ethers, and patchouli is inviting us to embody that vision, to bring it down deeper into our heart and soul and every muscle and bone in our body so that we are living, walking practices of what we preach and what we're excited to create more of in the world, and that we're actually showing up as the change we want to see in the world. There's something really powerful about patchouli essential oil also that can help you to find more inner steadiness within yourself so that you can build whatever you're creating and moving forward with on more solid ground. And maybe your body is the thing that the Scorpio energy is bringing up for you, that maybe it's time to focus on some of these parts of your health that maybe you've been too busy for or have been ignoring and hoping they'll go away. And instead, it's a really powerful moment to take action there instead. And patchouli can help you and support you in doing that. I love what it says in the Essential Emotions book, which is one of my favorite resources for finding the emotional aspects of essential oils and how to support our body's root cause physical ailments on an emotional level. And it says this about patchouli: it can help us rebuild inner trust and supports with body image and creating emotional safety to better open up to receive love, sensuality, and embodiment. It anchors the soul in the body as its sacred home. The body isn't a problem to solve. It's a compassionate life partner, spending every second of every day supporting you being able to live your life no matter what you throw at it. I also included black pepper in the painting because black pepper oil is such a powerful support tool also. In the Essential Emotions book, it talks about how black pepper is so good at helping us find the courage to face deep emotional pain and claim really powerful inner truths for ourselves or reclaim them. So this feels like really juicy energy right now. We need some courage to look in those dark places and also to know that we can do it, to know that we can handle this, that we've got this. From the book, it says that we may have learned as children that in order to be loved and accepted, we needed to hide undesirable parts of ourselves behind a mask or a facade. And black pepper invites us to get real and stop pushing down our true feelings. It reignites the soul fire, fueling motivation and high energy and hastening the healing process, giving us the strength to overcome the challenges and issues we carry inside of us and inviting us to live with integrity to our true self. So, so powerful. I've also included obsidian, which is a piece of volcanic glass that acts like a mirror. It's such a perfect stone for this self-reflection theme because instead of getting just the bright, cheery reflection, we're able to see more of the total truth in this reflection. And obsidian is known as a psychic vacuum cleaner. because it's believed to help shield negative energy and to just absorb and pull out toxic negative emotion. It's also really supportive to uncover hidden truths and help us see more of that shadow self. It's also a very grounding and empowering stone. It can help us foster within us the strength and courage needed to face difficult truths so that we can live more free and more in alignment with the truth of who we really are and what we came here to do on Earth. I've also included the gemstone Labradorite in this piece. Labradorite is really special because it looks like just a dark stone until you look a little closer, the light hits it just right, and then you get all of these gorgeous flashes of color. In some of the more Arctic areas, they would even believe that the Labradorite stones held pieces of the northern lights within them. These stones represent change and transformation and the revelation of hidden potential. It's a really powerful stone if you're trying to reinvent yourself or your life or something in it right now. It's also a really good stone for shielding from negativity as well, which when we look at both of these stones, I think that's an important piece because sometimes when we start looking at some of these darker aspects in our life, we can take on more negativity and shame than we need to at all. Looking at these dark parts shouldn't be about shame or guilt. It should be about bringing more of us back to ourselves in compassion and letting go of lies that are running our lives. There's so many people that I talk to on a daily basis who are living such small, scared lives because of the stories that they are telling themselves about what's possible, about even who they are. And so that's part of where I feel so passionately about why this moon is so important, because we should not let those lies hold us back anymore. And that's what we're talking about, going into the dark and finding out what is actually truth and what is lie. Byron Katie has one of my favorite quotes here. She says that if you're gonna build your life around a story, you better make sure it's true first, right? So how many times do we build our lives around a story that, oh, we're just not that smart, or we're not that pretty, or we're not that creative, and we keep feeling this really sinking feeling inside and maybe feel more disconnected from life and can't quite find our joy, and we're stuck in overwhelm or frustration or even depression and despair. The more that we get back to the truth of who we really are and the truth of what life is all about, the more it unlocks our energy so that then we can show up and create and experience life much more joyfully and peacefully than otherwise. I also love this other quote by Byron Katie that gives me a lot of comfort when I'm really struggling with this is just the way it is and it's not something I'm really excited about. She always says, reality is always kinder than the stories we tell ourselves about it. If you go through her Judge Your Neighbor worksheet and process, and or you've listened to her book, Loving What Is, then you'll see how often it really is just a story. It's just a super scary story that you've been telling yourself that's been holding you back. And even if you have a lot of evidence that that story might be true, this is a good moon to just check in and let's just ask some more questions. Let's get more curious and actually make sure. In my experience, those disempowering stories are never true and never helpful. When we walk around believing that we're worthless and we don't matter and our ideas aren't good, we don't help make this world a better place. We just keep waiting for others to do it, right? And we keep those little dreams and those hopes and ideas buried down deep inside of us. And this is not the time for that. The world needs that magic and vision and goodness and bigness and weirdness that's within you. We need it to help make the world a better place. We can't just any of us do it on our own. We need more and more of us waking up to our full potential and rising up out of those ashes of the lies and the people that we thought we were, so that we can step more into the people we were born to be and the person we are underneath all of those lies. So if you're needing a little bit more support with that right now, Labradorite might be a great stone to reach for. The Inuit legends called this the Aurora Borealis stone, and their legends suggest that by gazing into this stone, it could help you find more of your own inner light and your own shimmer and magic just beneath the surface. Now, will these stones actually do these things? I don't know, but I know we live in a world of intention, and if you have an intention to live a life of everyday magic and have more joy and peace, and you can show up to give and love from your big heart, what's the harm in any of this, right? I think it takes us back to when we were kids and you'd find a special rock in the play yard or a special piece of broken glass somewhere, and it would feel like a treasure. It would feel like it had meaning, and it would feel so special sitting in your pocket, right? And it would even maybe feel like a little love note from the universe or a sign that you lived in a beautiful world. And we get really removed from that as adults. And so I like these myths and stories about stones and essential oils and flowers and animals, scorpions and butterflies, because I feel like it takes us back to that childlike place where we can live more with our hearts wide open and our eyes wide open to really show up to serve in the world and to bring more of our hearts into it. So my hope and invitation is that you'll look at this moon and this energy coming up this week, and even if you're not feeling some of this strongly, it's a good moment to just check in with yourself and maybe take a minute and journal even just these questions, which I find are very powerful, of just writing down, what is it that I want to create? What do I want? What are you dreaming of? What do you want more of in your life, right? And then spend some time journaling. Do not let yourself shortcut and like just write down quick answers here, but like really spend some time digging in and journaling on, and why can't you have that? It's just a good question to start digging up some of these pieces that could be poisoning the well. Some of these stories we're telling ourselves about ourselves and what's possible that really could be limiting our capacity to create something different and something better. And if you need a little bit more support with digging into some of those stories and want to better understand how to change some of your stories, I highly recommend checking out my book, The World is Full of Stories, which will help and guide you to really look at your stories and reframe them and let go of the stories that just are not serving you and are not helping you to create the life that you want and experience life in the way that feels really, really good to you and really true to you. So please remember, the universe is on your side. All of heaven is aligning right now to support you in looking into the dark, facing some of those fears and things that are holding you back, letting them go so that you can create and bring more of the big magic within you out into the world. We need it. The world needs that magic inside of you and needs those dreams inside of you and those goals. We need them to come forth. You'll make the world a better place for all of us. So please work with this energy this week and know that I am cheering you on.